What's going on, everybody? I'm your host, Ben Ballion, back with another episode of the Sports Pod. And today, I'm going to preview week 9 of the NFL season. I'll get into all of it on the other side of the intro. Hit it.
DiVincenzo at three. Bang! Bang!
At the wall, he jumps. It's gone. He did it. He did it. Pete Alonso with the most memorable home run of his career.
All right, getting into the episode, starting on Thursday Night Football. The New York Jets at home at MetLife, taking on the Houston Texans. CJ Stroud and them. CJ Stroud and the Texans. I mentioned this last week, but they're 6-2, but I feel like they could be a lot better. Anyway, the Jets really have a good shot at winning this game now. The Texans are just gonna come in here and smack the Jets. I mean, we saw last year that I think the Jets actually had a really good game against the Texans. No, that's not happening again. Texans are going to beat the Jets by a lot, I think. Aaron Rodgers, whatever he's drinking is dumb juice. It's not going to work. Thomas Morrison, I mean, like, these guys don't do anything. They're not good. That's the simplest way to put it. The Jets are not a good football team, right? That's that conversation. Texans win probably by a touchdown or two. All right, next game, the other New York team, the Commanders, coming to MetLife on Sunday, taking on your New York Giants. Jaden Daniels, best rookie quarterback in a long time. Jaden Daniels is so legit. He's so mature for his age. And I wouldn't even say mature. He's just a very talented player for his age. The maturity will come, for example, sliding when he runs the ball or throwing the ball away and instead of trying to scramble out of unscrambleable situations. But Jaden Daniels has been at the top of his game and at the top of the league as far as quarterbacks go this year. And I expect him to continue that same mojo he had last week against the Bears, late last week against the Bears, into MetLife Stadium and beat the living daylights out of the Giants. I mean, Daniel Jones is just awful. Why Daniel Jones? He's so bad. Like, honestly, he's actually one of the worst quarterbacks, like, in the NFL. I would say bottom 3 or 4. Him, Bryce Young. I don't even know who else. There's probably no one worse. So Daniel Jones is not going to be able to do anything. He doesn't move the needle. Malik Neighbors doesn't move the needle as much as I thought he was going to coming into this year. But that's that. I mean, the Giants, their season's lost. They're 2-6. They're playing the Commanders, who are 6-2, and they're a young upstart team who look real scrappy and real feisty. The Giants are going to get beat here. All right, next matchup, an AFC East divisional matchup. Dolphins at the Bills in Orchard Park, New York. I'm going to take the Bills. I think the Bills are better all around. The Dolphins don't have as much talent as I think people give them credit for. They have talent on the outsides, but Tua Tagovailoa is not it at quarterback. He is just not a top quarterback in this NFL, and it's such a quarterback-based league. Like the Dolphins are a quarterback away from being unstoppable. Like, if they had a top quarterback, I would say Tua is probably 15, 16 as far as quarterback power rankings go. But if they had a top 10 quarterback, if they had somebody on even like Jordan Love's caliber, his level of play, they would be so much better because they have Tyreek Hill on the outside. They have Jalen Waddle. They have Raheem Mostert and Devon Achane in the backfield. Their talent level on the offensive side of the ball is, I would say it's probably the best receiving room and running back room across the NFL, like combined. I don't know who has it better than them. The Ravens have a really good running back room with Derrick Henry, but their receivers are a little iffy. They just traded for Deontay Johnson as I've transitioned into Broncos and Ravens. So that their top weapons will be Zay Flowers, Deontay Johnson. On the outside there, you still got Roquan Smith as a slot guy. So the Ravens offense is looking scary because especially your backfield is Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. So the Ravens they're gonna go far this year, but I don't think they're beating the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are on another level as far as their talent level, their 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 vibes, their team chemistry, and their will to win. Because at the end of the day, they're not the most talented team by any means. They're definitely up there with Mahomes and an aging D Hop and an aging Travis Kelsey, but they're not considered to be like the most talented team in the world. Their chemistry, however, and their will to win, especially Patrick Mahomes' will to win, I don't think anybody even gets close to it. And this isn't me going crazy over Patrick Mahomes because I'm not a huge Mahomes fan. I don't think that's a crazy thing to say. Obviously, yeah, the Chiefs are a very good football team, and they are probably going to win the Super Bowl again because that's what the Chiefs do. But Patrick Mahomes, he just wants it more than anyone. Like plowing that guy from the Niners over on the goal line and just hitting these guys that nobody really knows, like, and bringing them to fame and NFL popularity. And this goes for Andy Reid too. Like Isaiah Pacheco, the way Andy Reid utilizes Isaiah Pacheco is a lot better than a lot of coaches in the NFL because he can definitely go and waste away on a lot of other teams. But no, Andy Reid sees what he has in Pacheco, and what that is a very solid running back. He's not going to be anything crazy, but he's going to get the job done. And he's going to do a good enough job at it. And it's not like the Chiefs run the ball very much anyway. I know Pacheco's out right now. I don't know why I'm spending so much time on him. But it's not like the Chiefs run the ball, so they don't need a top running back anyway. Like Kareem Hunt is a good pickup for the Chiefs because they don't use a lot of running backs. Kareem Hunt is one of the better receiving running backs in the league. So yeah, and the Bo Nix Broncos are interesting. They, in my opinion, they don't have a lot. They don't have Jerry Jeudy anymore. Pat Surtain is their best player. Bo Nix is going to be a pro. He's going to play in the NFL for a long time. I think he's going to have the most sustained career out of those top three quarterbacks. Not picks wise, but Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, and Bo Nix, who have emerged as the top three picks from last year's draft. I think the Ravens win, though. They got to bounce back after a brutal loss in Cleveland. All right, next game. Chargers going to Cleveland. The aforementioned Cleveland Browns. Trying to beat the house money Browns in their own place. Have to deal with the dog pound. I'm taking the Browns here. Jameis Winston has nothing to lose. The Browns are already out of the race at 2-6. So unless Kevin Stefanski is telling them to tank already and we don't want to win these games, we want to jock for draft position, I think the Browns are going to come out there, play carefree, play for each other, and win a football game. The Chargers are nothing special. They're a game over 500, but they have no weapons on offense, and that was apparent last week against the Saints. The Saints are not a great football team, and the Chargers were able to beat them, yeah, but they didn't do much on offense. It was a lot of defense and a lot of luck involved with that game. I like Jameis Winston. He's a pro's pro. He's been doing this backup quarterback thing for a long time. He's probably in 6th, 7th year as a backup. I think he's a leader. He's going to lead his guys out on the field. He's going to know that they're prepared, and he's going to be ready to win a football game every time he steps on that field. Browns by a touchdown. No, by a field goal. All right, next game. Saints and Panthers. Two pretty bad teams. I mean, not much other way to say it. Bryce Young is starting for the Panthers, so I think that tells a lot about this game. Jonathan Brooks may make his debut. I'm not sure about, though. New Orleans is favored in this one. I'm taking New Orleans. They're the better team. They're getting Derek Carr back this week. He's going to be able to utilize his guys better, whether it's Chris Olave or Alvin Kamara. He's going to be better than Spencer Rattler. And yeah, man, the Saints are just better than the Panthers, flat out. All right, next game, Raiders and Bengals. I'm going to start going through these games that I think are going to be blowouts a little bit quicker here. Raiders and Bengals. Neither of these two teams are good. Bengals 3-5, Raiders 2-6, but I think the Bengals are just better. The Bengals have more talent on their roster. They've proven that they can win together, and it's just a matter of time before they break out. Joe Burrow has not played awfully well this year. He didn't do as much as I thought he was going to do coming into the year. I thought he was going to have a big bounce back year after struggling with injuries last season, but that hasn't been the case. T. Higgins and Jamar Chase have not had the same chemistry on the outside as they did a couple years back. So they're going to take this one, but that's just because the Raiders are bad. All right, next game, Cowboys and Falcons. Falcons by a lot. Kirk Cousins and the Falcons are legit. Kirk O'Chains, his true self, has come out in Atlanta, and the Cowboys are in shambles. They suck. Dak Prescott is just not the answer at quarterback for any NBA team for any NFL team, who is trying to win a championship. And that's where the Cowboys always should be. They have one of the richest owners in the sport, Jerry Jones, and what he thinks is the best front office, which is himself. He's the one making the decisions, and it doesn't usually work. Falcons by a lot. All right, here's a bottom feeder matchup: Patriots and Titans. I'm gonna go Titans. I think they're a little bit better than the Patriots. This will be a close game. Titans are favored by 3.5, but Will Levis is better than whatever Drake May might be, because we don't know what Drake May. Because Drake May could be awesome, but I think there's a better chance of Drake May being not great and not doing much to move the needle at all. I think Titans take this one, even though they only have one win on the season. All right, next game, Bears and Cardinals. Oh, this is going to be a good game. In the 4 o'clock window, Caleb Williams and Kyler Murray going at it. Cardinals won last week on a last-second field goal. Bears lost on a heartbreaking Hail Mary play. I'm going to take the Bears. Bears. They're going to come out with a vengeance, trying to right the wrong that they ended last week on. Caleb Williams is going to come out and show out. The Bears didn't do much offensively at all last week in Washington. They let the Commanders win on, that Hail Mary, but that was their only touchdown of the game. But prior to that, the Commanders had only kicked field goals. Bears are going to come out. Offense is going to be locked in. Their defense is going to tighten up a lot. I feel like they have to be motivated after what they saw last week. All right, Jags and Eagles. This is the Eagles. Jaguars just aren't good. Going into Philly at Lincoln Financial Field. Keep thinking about other sports right now. NBA, NFL. We're talking about football, though. NFL Week 9 picks. Jaguars and Eagles. I'm taking the Eagles. The Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts in the backfield, way better than Travis Etienne or Trevor Lawrence. Like, that's not gonna work. All right, this is gonna be my game of the week. The Lions and the Packers at Lambeau Field, a historic NFC North matchup. Give me the Lions. Lions, I know it's probably a little bit it's a normal pick. With Jordan Love, we don't know what he's going to be. He got injured last week. He hasn't practiced at all this week, but he says there's a good chance that he plays this week. So I'm believing Jordan Love. I think the Lions are just better all around. especially with this interception problem that Jordan Love is experiencing right now, especially with Love playing on a messed up. I think it's a lower body injury on a bad leg. It's a chance for the Lions secondary to really take advantage of him. Throw some disguises in there and try to take the ball away a couple times. Give me the Lions. All right, Rams and Seahawks, NFC West matchup now. Give me the Rams. Their 3-4 record is inaccurate to how they've played so far. They just didn't have a lot of their top guys for the majority of this season. Like, they just got Puka Nacua back and Cooper Kupp. So I think that's where the money's going to come from for the Rams. All right, last game of the Sunday slate, Colts and Vikings. Colts benched benched Anthony Richardson. Apparently, the Colts, his teammates, they didn't have a lot of confidence in him, and the coaching staff thought it would be better to give Joe Flacco a try. I mean, they're not out of the race yet. They're 4-4 going up against a 5-2 Colts team. So we'll see where that matchup takes us. I'm going the Vikings. They lost on a wrong call last week, that face mask call on Thursday Night Football. This week, second primetime game in a row on Sunday Night Football. And they're going to come back. They're gonna beat the Colts real good. All right, Monday Night Football game. Another really good game. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the undefeated Kansas City Chiefs. Give me the Chiefs. Much like my reasoning last week for the Falcons to beat the Bucs, I think the Buccaneers just don't have the weapons. And the Chiefs are far and away the best team in the NFL. The only undefeated team left heading into Week 9. A perfect record of 7-0. They have had their bye week, though, so it's kind of a lesser undefeated, but that doesn't matter because at the end of the day, they're 7-0. Give me the Chiefs to wrap up Week 9. All right, let me know what you think about my picks, what you would have picked differently. But that's going to do it for this episode. I'm your host, Ben Bally. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Check out all my socials, link down in the description below. And keep it locked with the Sports Pod.